Hi everyone. So I'm here today with Sandeep, who is a member of our team, and he's specialized in
Hi.
helping expats across the Middle East. And in particular, he's dealt with many clients in the Middle East, but also non-resident clients, non-resident Indian clients, should I say, all around the world. So, Sandeep, if
Hi,
you
hi,
wouldn't
Adam.
mind telling us a little bit about your experience, and in particular, you worked in a private bank before, didn't you? But then you went
True,
into our industry. So, what do you think
true,
are the
true.
main benefits of, say, the products we offer in our industry compared to, for example, the major banks that operate all around the world?
Yeah. I would say that, our kind of products, caters to the expat market better than the banks. But the bank products are normally, they're selling to the bank, and normally you have to hold it under the bank's portfolio. Whereas, our clients, they would like to keep their investment, probably portable because they're not too sure how long they're going to stay here. Also, they're not very sure where they're going to retire. So obviously they want a kind of a portable portfolio. And for the portable portfolio, I think our solution suits better to most of our clients. I think that I would think. Whereas a bank is concerned, that caters to a particular bank. So it's everything stays under the bank portfolio. So if something happens to the client, it goes to the bank. It follows the enter law of the land and becomes slightly complicated at times. But whereas it's our portfolio, it's very, very accessible for him anytime, 24/7, and he can also benefit. He can also nominate his beneficiary and things like that. So it's pretty easier for the clients to manage this kind of portfolio. I think so.
Well, that's a very good point as well, because nominating beneficiaries, God forbid, if there's a death,
Yeah,
is a good
yeah,
thing. And also, as you say,
true,
it's not portable sometimes if people leave a particular country, like where it is
true.
Qatar or Saudi or whatever it is,
Yeah,
UAE or whatever. But I think also in general, I don't know what it was like when you worked in the banking sector, but I think the
yeah,
banks tend to sell their own products or like a smaller range, whereas we can pretty much sell within reason, as long as it's a legal investment, almost anything, right? That's another difference, isn't it? Really?
true. I think in the financial planning or the wealth management, it works better when you are independent because the banks normally, as you correctly said, the banks have their kind of white list where they put their own kind of products. And normally, when you work for a bank, you end up selling those products to the clients. Whereas when we are advising to our clients, when we are sitting with them and doing their financial planning, it's better to make it more kind of bespoke, more kind of customized for the clients. And for that, I think our solution works better than the banks. That's what I would think. Because as you correctly said, when you work for a bank, you end up selling the banking products. So, which could be good, but then the clients are limited to those kind of products. They can't really, their horizon is very, very limited. When we work for us, when they're working with us and when we are advising, it becomes more bespoke and more kind of customized for them, which suits their financial needs. I would say so.
Absolutely. And you yourself, I believe, originally came from India, right? And
That's right. Yeah.
obviously, not all of your clients are non-resident Indians, but you have a
Yeah.
decent amount of experience in that area.
Mm.
Now, for non-resident Indians who, for example, are thinking about retiring back in India, or for that matter,
Mm.
they're just
Mm.
coming
Mm.
offshore now. Maybe they're leaving India and they're coming offshore, they're new offshore. What are the typical problems do you think that they have? I mean, how can we help people like that? Apart from things like retirement planning, would you also say it's things like getting an income for the clients and other things like that?
Yeah, I would think so because a lot of Indians, as you correctly said, they don't want to go back to India at this point of time. There are two options they have. The one option is that they'll go back to India and follow the Indian system or whatever is concerned. And the other option they have that they don't want to return India, they want to stay abroad. They want to stay outside India. And when they stay outside India, obviously they have to plan their retirement very well. And also, some of the clients they look for income, as you correctly said, because they look for an alternative income. Because if they decide to stay outside India, obviously the cost of living is probably higher than India, and then obviously they require income to maintain themselves and the family, and then they have to look for an alternative income other than the what is the salary they're getting at this point of time. So after retirement they have to work on retirement planning so that they get an income which will take care of the expenses after retirement. And we can definitely help them to do that, so that they can plan their financial planning. They can plan their finance in a way so that they can get an X amount of income every year which will help them to retire peacefully. I think so.
And also, I think another change has been in the last few years, getting money out of India in a efficient way without being charged a lot of money has become a
Yeah,
bit more difficult, right? So if people send their salaries back home, of course, getting it back out again could be quite costly, right? So sending money back isn't always the
yeah,
right thing, right? Because I
yeah.
think
I
there's
think that's a
been
very,
new
very
rules.
That's a very, very fair point. Now, if you save the money in India, and for an emergency, if you want to bring that money back in UAE or wherever you want to retire, where you are based in, it's going to be very, very expensive for you because the exchange rate won't work in your favor. It has not worked the last 10, 20 years. And also, there are a lot of expenses to get the money from India to here, and that will cost you a lot. So, in that case, you're better off keeping the funds outside India and use that money whenever you need it. So it's very, very important for the clients to to keep a parallel kind of a savings. They can do their savings in India if they want to, but obviously they have to build up a portfolio outside India as well, and particularly in dollars or some kind of foreign currencies, or some of the hard currencies like dollar or euro or GBP. The dollar would be the most popular one, so that they can access the fund, or in AD, because AD is pegged to dollar, as we know, so they can kind of access the money whenever they want to.